Hi, guys. This is Samantha K, host of the Samantha K Experience. I know it's been a about 2 months or so since I've been recording. Um, Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. I honestly, it's taken me a while to actually get back into recording for the show. Uh, I decided that this episode wasn't going to be based off of, I'm not going to have any background music because honestly, I just feel like this is something that's really important to me. So, after my last episode, there's been a lot of things that has been going on in my life that honestly it took me away from doing the things that I would love to do or like to do. Um, After I, you know, worked my regular school job, um, that job ended, and I, was working during the summer, and that job has since concluded as of last week. Just shortly after I started working during the summer, I had gotten word that my grandfather was sick, and we didn't know what exactly um, why he was sick, but I hadn't been feeling quite well, um, and I had taken like a day off from work. This was like earlier on, maybe between late June, early July, and upon like the next day of me like going back into work, I literally took one day off. I had gotten a slight head cold. So I wasn't like, it wasn't anything like COVID or anything like that. But thank God. Um, but I basically was just sick. It was just like a slight cold. And the heat wasn't making things any better. It was like really hard for me to like even stay conscious a good chunk of time because it was so humid earlier on in during the summer. It was like really hot, and when you're working um, in an environment that isn't is although it's ventilated, it's higher up, so the humidity was really high, and it was just causing me to like really feel faint. So I ended up having to, and plus with the head cold, it was just too much for me to bear. So I ended up calling out the Tuesday. Um, and I think um, when I went back the Wednesday, everything was okay. It was a lot better. I was moving around, I was more functional. But back to my grandfather, um, I had gotten a call from my mother telling me that things didn't look good. Um, they had did a biopsy and found that he was sick. And even now that I'm talking about it, it's starting to bring up a lot of emotions right now. I'm trying so hard to keep this together. It, so it was decided that we really couldn't um, do much for him because um, his illness had pretty much taken over his body, and there wasn't really much we can do but just be there for him. And I got to see him twice. I think it was the Thursday I had to take off again twice that week. um 3 times actually. I took Thursday and Friday off of and I saw him, I believe it was a Thursday, and then I came back on Saturday, and Saturday happened to be July 3rd. That day is really significant to me, July 3rd. Um, July 3rd was the last time that I spoke to my grandfather before he passed away. Um, I remember um, a lot of things that day that that stuck out to me. But remember just talking to him, and he was just really sure that he was gonna come home, and unfortunately that didn't happen. The next day, um, which was July 4th, I got the call that he had passed away. In the morning, it's like it's it's still like weird, you know. I wasn't gonna cry. I wasn't gonna get emotional because guys, I don't know. It's just weird, you know, when you have a relative um that is suffering from an illness. You know, it's really hard to just watch them just wither away into nothing. You know, you're so used to seeing them in a certain way, and now you just see them. They're like a former shell of what they used to be. It's hard. Um, so I decided that this episode 18, I'm gonna dedicate it to my grandfather because he was an avid wrestling fan, and he and my mom used to um, talk to each other about wrestling, and they used to watch wrestling, and she used to call him and ask him if he watched it and stuff like that. So I think it's the right thing to do to just dedicate this episode to him. Um, I'm gonna. I don't even know how to start the show. Um, wow. Um, I can only say this, that the reason why I didn't review uh, Money in the Bank, because around that time, um, like a few days after, um, I think Money in the Bank was like a few days after I had buried my grandfather. So I wasn't really in the state of really recording anything. I did watch WWE Money in the Bank, but I wasn't in the headspace to record the show at that time. And honestly, I was just trying to get through um, like the shock of him passing away and then having to bury him, it was just too much. So I had to take some time off, and it sucks because I've been taking time off and I haven't been really fully able to um get everything done that I need to get done for the show. So with that being said, we're gonna do SummerSlam 2021, and boy, do I have a doozy. So I would just like to say this before I go on any further. Um, Episode 18 of the SummerSlam review for the Samantha K experience. It's gonna be dedicated to my grandfather, Glenvere Rudolph Clark. Rest in peace, Grandpa. I miss you, and Mommy misses you too. A lot. Okay, here we go. Okay. So, SummerSlam 2021 happened on Saturday, uh, August 21st, 2021, in Las Vegas, Nevada. Wow, what a um uh how can I put this, guys? I think honestly, for me, I would say that this was one of the most meh pay-per-views that I've watched in recent months. And I gotta say, there've been a few pay-per-views that have been kind of like, what were they thinking? You know, they don't get me wrong, there are some pay-per-views that are, I wouldn't say that they're overly good, but it was always something compensated for it to make it somewhat good, as opposed to not making it good, if that makes sense. So here's my thing. I'm gonna tell you, show you guys. You can't see me. Um, I'm going to give you guys my honest opinion right after. So I'm just gonna run off the list of matches that happened. Okay, so we had a kickoff show, and I didn't even get to see the kickoff match. I didn't even know that they had one until until like I um started looking through some of the reviews for SummerSlam. So apparently there was a match between Big E and Baron Corbin, and Baron Corbin has stolen the Money in the Bank briefcase that Big E won had at the previous pay per view of the same name. Okay. From what I heard, that the match was okay, but it really didn't amount to much of anything. So I can't really give you guys a review on this match, unfortunately, because I personally didn't know that they had a match, a kickoff show match. I think I came in the show kind of no, I started a match. I started on time. I just don't know what happened. Oh no, I didn't. I'm lying to you guys. I actually, what happened was, for me, I think I did start the stream on time, but for some reason I never got to watch the Biggie and Baron Corbin match. I didn't even know. Like, all I know, I started watching it around like, I started the streaming at 7 something, and that was the end of it. I've never, I don't know. Apparently, they it was an okay match from what I can tell, but it wasn't anything spectacular. But I did hear Logan Paul was there and he got booed when the camera showed him. I don't know why they keep entertaining Logan Paul, because nobody gives a shit about Logan Paul. I'm sorry to say this, but I'm not a big Logan Paul fan, and it's not that I have anything personally really against him. It's just that when you keep putting in celebrities that don't really fit into the scenario of professional wrestling, it kind of makes you feel like you're trying too hard. You're trying to reach everybody who may be interested, like YouTubers or YouTube fans of YouTubers, if that makes that sentence makes any sense. I just don't see what's the point. Okay, he's a popular YouTuber. Okay, if that was the case, then put PewDiePie if you felt some type of way, or I don't know, like random people, like random YouTubers. It's like it just doesn't make any sense to keep bringing him there. He wasn't really liked in the other pay per view that he was in, which was I think two pay per views ago. Um, at WrestleMania Backlash, I think that was like three pay per views ago. I don't know. It's basically for me. I don't think anybody cares. Like, he's popular, yay, that's great and everything, but no one cares. So stop bringing him there. He's not well liked, and I'm guessing there's several reasons as to why he's not well liked. But I digress from Logan Paul. Okay, so um, we're going to be moving on. So the first match on the main show was the Raw Tag Team Championship with AJ Styles and Almost versus the team of RK Bro. Okay, so here's my issue. Um the match was good. I would have given a 3 stars, because of the fact of the matter is that the match didn't go on as long as I thought it would have. It felt like it was more of a rushed match. I don't understand why it went so short. I think it was about maybe 5 to 7 minutes, and it made me think like they really didn't give a shit about this tag team match whatsoever, because you got guys in there who are really good, with the exception of Almost, who's still green. You have AJ Styles, who's a Grand Slam champion. You got Randy Orton, who's also a Grand Slam champion, if I'm not mistaken. And you have Matt Riddle, who is former NXT and United States champion and stuff like that. He he's good. He's Matt Riddle is really good at what he does. Um, I just don't understand why this match was so short. It kind of felt like, and I kind of agree with JD from New York 206. I think the problem is with that match in particular, it ended before it actually got started, if you know what I mean. Like, the match ended too quickly and it didn't really have the momentum built up for the match. So it kind of made you feel like, okay, this was kind of flat. It felt like this was a match that should have been on Raw instead of on the main show. Like, it just didn't give much of anything. Um, but you know what? I guess it was good for what it was at the time. So again, I given it 3 stars. I wish I could have given a little bit higher, but due to the time constraints and stuff, I just really felt like this match just wasn't really all that. Yeah. So the second match was between Alexa Bliss and Ava Marie, or Eva Marie. Is it Ava Marie? There's Eva, right? Okay, Eva Marie. This is what you call a colossal freaking waste of time. Just stop. Like, Eva Marie, sis, no. I'm sorry. I don't understand why they even decided to bring you back. I don't see any changes in anything. The only thing that changed was your hair is now pink from the former red color that it used to be. I I just don't get it. Alexa Bliss needs to go back to being the Alexa Bliss from before. Maybe find something else for her to do because, quite frankly, nobody's really feeling her based off of the fact that Bray Wyatt is no longer there, and with all the controversy surrounding her still pretty much, I guess, in a lot of fans' eyes, she is pretty much more or less capitalizing on the fact of the Fiend is no longer there wrestling in WWE. It just it kind of makes you feel like they're doing too much, and this match was trash. Like honestly, if you just had a follow, you had a previous match that lasted about um I don't know, maybe 6 to 7 minutes or so, or 5 minutes or so with our tag team championship match, and then you automatically follow up with this trash. I don't understand how you expect to have viewers still. I really don't. Like this company really needs to think long and hard about the things that they're doing because it just doesn't make any sense. Like I can't even give this even worthy of 2 stars. Let them like it was no, it was trash. Like, why? This was just a just I can't even talk about this. It was a complete and utter waste of time. Don't listen. Don't do this again. Don't put matches on the card that just on paper nobody wants to see. And I'm sorry, but if she actually is, which is Eva Marie, if she's actually training to wrestle, she needs to take better bumps. She needs to be more reactionary when it comes to getting hit. Like if you're getting hit in the face, okay, boom, ow. You immediately may make a noise or grab at your face or something. You know, the delay responses or just not being able to do much of anything. I don't know if it's nerves that she's scared of performing in front of a live audience or whatever, but this no. It I can't. Like honestly, it's no. We not no. Mm-mm. Sorry. All right. Moving along. Oh, by the way, I'm going to give that like 0 stars. I just was not interested in Doudrop, and Doudrop, I guess she must have dropped her allegiance to Eva Marie after Eva Marie um the outcome of that match. I really don't like giving you guys any more spoilers, but I feel like this one is worth spoiling it. Yeah, she lost. Eva Marie surprisingly lost. Okay, no surprises there, but she lost, and Doudrop took her robe and started parading it and just said, "Well, now the loser of that match is Eva Marie." And then she blew a kiss and then she walked off with the robe, which is surprising because I remember Eva Marie dropped the robe at the beginning of the ramp of the walkway. So I don't know how the hell the robe got from one place to another. Who the fuck carried it from all the way from the the 20 the 30 yards or 40 yards of walkway, and the walkway wasn't even a straight walkway. It like literally was straight and then curved towards the end of the thing. I'm like, who the hell did had time to do all of that? Like, that was beyond ridiculous. By the way, that walkway was dumb. Why would you curve the walkway like that? That was stupid. But yeah, I mean, there's other things that I want to talk about. All right. The third match of the night featured Damian Priest and the and Sheamus for the universe and the Sheamus. As if Sheamus was like an entity. But yeah, Damian Priest and Sheamus squared off for the United States Championship match. Okay, so Damian Priest came out to little to no hype, and I feel bad because apparently he's the only person on from NXT that's on the main roster now that's actually doing pretty well for himself. All right, that I'm happy for him because he deserves it. But then, you know, we'll get to other problems later. But yeah, Damian Priest came out to a little of no pop whatsoever. I guess it's gonna take the crowd a little while to get into the idea of Damian Priest and stuff, but we gotta give it time. Sheamus came out. He's wearing his face guard because his nose got broken by Umberto Carrillo during a match about a month or two ago. I didn't see this match, but I heard that Sheamus had to get surgery to fix his nose. I'm sorry. There, fella, that must have really hurt because I know just getting bonked in the nose at times hurts like hell for me. So I can't imagine suffering through a broken nose unless you're John Cena, because that was pretty hideous. That time that John Cena's nose got broken, that was gross. Mm, that was really gross. Anyway, I can't lie. This match was actually good. I mean, the fans could have helped out a little bit more, but I think after a while they started to get behind Damien a bit, and yeah, this match was actually good. This match was kind of what we needed to get past the the level of piss that was the Alexa Bliss and Eva Marie match. Oh my god. So I'm gonna give this one about a 3.5 stars. Honestly, I think that this match was good for the time, and it actually lasted a lot longer than the other previous two matches. So yeah, I think honestly the United States Championship, unfortunately I must say, it did change hands. Well, I want to say unfortunately, but I'm actually happy. Damian Priest is now currently the United States champion. Um, Sorry for that spoiler, but I really couldn't talk about the match without not giving it too much away. So we're not stating that part. But yeah, the title, there was title change hands. Oh, and just to backtrack, I actually forgot to tell you guys that the team of uh AJ and Almost actually dropped the belts to Team Arcade Bro. So far this night had two title chains and a weird doll experience. So far we're about I guess 0 for 2, I guess, or 2 and 0. I don't know. All right. So that was a good match. I give it a 3.5. I think Damian Priest got what it takes. Here's another match that we had featured the tag team champions for SmackDown. These are the team of the Mysterios, both Rey and Dominic Mysterio, versus the current SmackDown champions, which are the Usos. I will tell you guys that no, the Usos did not drop the belts, and the Mysterios still did not regain their titles that they lost from Money in the Bank a month ago. I would say this, that honestly, this match is good, but I just feel like with the current situation that's surrounding the Usos, and I really don't like bringing up somebody's personal business out in public like that. I do think that the Usos honestly should not have been tag team champions. I think the Mysterio should have dropped the belts to somebody else, um, or make it even a triple threat tag team match and involve maybe the Alpha Academy or some other teams, or have a team battle royal to determine who's going to be the winners. On something to shake up the tag team division, because the tag team division on both Raw and SmackDown have been severely lacking, and so has been the women's division on both shows. It's honestly severely lacking, and I think that's one of the reasons why the shows have been suffering for so long. But I digress. Um, the match was good. I guess I'll give this a 3 star, 3 stars. It's just that I feel like Dominic really didn't have much to do in the match. I don't know if they're setting things up that Dominic will turn on his dad, which would, I guess, in hindsight, would kind of sort of make sense, but not sense. I don't know. I think they need something new because I feel like the Mysterios are getting a little bit stale. At least with the Usos, they are tag team champions. So and so is their cousin, who is a WWE Universal Champion. So I guess they needed to have all three members have of the bloodline have titles. So I don't think they were trying to like rip the strap away from the Usos, but to give it to them. So it kind of did feel like they got rewarded for bad behavior because of the one DUI that I think Jimmy got recently. So, like I said, I don't like bringing up people's personal business, especially like, I don't know Jimmy, I don't know Jay, I don't know any of these people, but I just feel like the timing was really bad, and it just kind of tainted this championship win it for them, if that makes sense. So yes, the Usos retain. It was all right match. I think we needed, like I said, we needed a couple of matches to get the bad taste of the Alexa Bliss and Eva Marie match out of our mouths. Okay, so we're moving along. We got good and this is where the part of the show where I'm trying to bite down my anger. So this is what happened. So Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair were supposed to have a return match from WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, here's the thing about this. Bianca and Sasha Banks were supposed to be in this match for this belt. And unfortunately, even minutes leading up to um the match, Sasha Banks had been advertised to wrestle at SummerSlam. She was still listed on the posters, even in the video packages that they showed with her interaction with Carmella and um what's that child's name? That girl's name? Zelina Vega. I'm sorry, just drew a blank. I even her leading up to her supposed to be doing a contract signing with Bianca a couple of weeks back, I believe. They advertised that she's still going to be on the show. So SummerSlam comes up. So Bianca comes in the ring and she actually is getting ready to fight Sasha. So then the ring announcer says that unfortunately Sasha is unable to make it. So they sent out Carmella as the sacrificial lamb, so to speak. And this is why I say what I say. They sent out poor Carmella. I'm kind of like indifferent to Carmella, but even I feel like this was a waste of her time. And honestly, she deserved better for that. So they bring out Carmella. Carmella comes out to no crowd reaction whatsoever. And Bianca's like, all right, so I'm not gonna, so I can't get Sasha. I'm gonna get her some other time, but in the meantime, I'm gonna beat your dusty self. And before this girl could even finish say what she had to say, out comes the prodigal child returns, the man Becky Lynch. Yay! So she gets a huge pop from the fans, of course, and she comes in the ring. She stares at the other two women. She was like, "Hold on, this won't take a minute." This is what she tells Bianca. and proceeds to beat the crap out of Carmella, throws Carmella out of the ring, throws Carmella into the steel steps. So now Carmella can't wrestle because now she's injured. Great. She gets back in the ring. She asks for a microphone. So she goes and she speaks on the microphone. And she's like, "Hey guys, yeah, I'm happy, yeah, whatever." And then she says, like, "Oh, you guys want to see us put on a me come back and put on a match and blah 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 with Bianca." The crowd goes ape shit, goes crazy. So the crowd is like, "Okay, yeah, we're down for it." So Bianca agrees to the match. And I guess is what you would call considered to be a rookie mistake. Um, Becky extends her hands out to her. Bianca goes to shake it. She sucker punches Bianca. Ends up picking up Bianca. Bodies. I guess that you would have want to call it a choke slam, kind of. It looked like a choke slam. Pins Bianca 1, 2, 3 in a matter of seconds. Bianca is now a former SmackDown Women's Champion. And then Becky's parading and celebrating her win in the ring with the belt. I cannot begin to tell you the level of anger that people immediately brought up once this happened really infuriated people. They I'm just going to continue with this review because I have a lot to say on that. So, since how this wasn't a like a 5-star classic, I'm gonna give this a 1. A 1. Actually, I shouldn't even give this a 1. This is a 0 stars for me. So, and I'm gonna tell you all how I feel about it afterwards. Later on. Okay. So here's another match. The next match had featured Jinder Mahal versus Drew McIntyre. Honestly, I don't think anybody cared about this match. This match was kind of like a 2 stars, which sucks because I like Drew, but I think people are kind of over Drew McIntyre, and I think they just want him to like just be in the back now. If he's not in the title contendership, I think that's okay for right now because he's been in the title contendership for months. Uh, um, and he literally had like 4 or 5 times to get the belt back, and he just couldn't get it. So at least I think it's like 4 or 5 times. So I think right now it's best that he just work his way back up. Unfortunately, dealing with Jinder Mahal, I don't really see that as a thing. I don't know why Jinder is even like it makes sense because they're former 3MB members, but it just kind of makes you feel like, really, you give him Jinder Mahal, like why? Because Jinder feels like he like McIntyre owes him something. Boy, bye. Honestly, no, not with it. Just didn't really care for the match. In fact, the match was over before I even really had a chance to really get into it. It didn't even last that long. So I think maybe 4 minutes, 5 minutes at most, and that was it. So yeah, 2 stars. Sorry, McIntyre, but that match was not good. And here we have it: the Raw Women's Championship triple threat. Go figure. With Nikki, I can't believe this is not Butter superhero. Um, no, Nikki Ash. Right, what was it? Nikki Ash. Such a stupid name. Um, and Rhea Ripley and the Queen Charlotte Flair. So there's nothing much to really go on this one. This one's actually okay. Um, I feel like Charlotte actually came out to actual wrestle because a lot of her matches seemed like she just didn't really want to be there, so she was just going through the motions. Um, I believe she pinned. No, she. Who did she pin? I think she pinned Rhea Ripley again. So I don't think that. No, she didn't. Nikki. She pinned Nikki. She well, it was pinned by pinfall by submission. So yeah, we have a new champion. So this is the third title match that has changed hands during SummerSlam. I'm actually gonna give this about maybe a three. I guess I keep it in the even, like in the middle. I give it about a three because, well, Charlotte really needs to stop doing that damn moonsault. It's just not. It's not okay. Um, I say it once. I said it twice, and I'm saying it for the third time. Just change up the damn moonsault. It's not good. All right. And I think we had. Oh, yeah, one of the good matches of the night was Edge and Seth Rollins. Oh my God. Edge came out to Brood music. It was like living in the early, the late 90s, early 2000s again. So that was good. And his music changed to Alter Bridge, Metalingus, yeah. And it was like it wasn't a bad match. Honestly, this match was actually lively. I think this match actually kind of made you get invested more into SummerSlam. And it sucks that we had to wait so long for us to actually enjoy something, you know? And I honestly was like, well, you know what? I really and really think this match was worth the wait. Both guys came up, they put on a great show. I think that um, you know, Seth is really getting the hang of this, and I think Edge is a really good teacher of sorts. And yeah, this match really was good. But then again, I wasn't surprised because Seth Rollins matches for the most part are good. It's just that I guess it depends on who he's working with. But even when Seth was fighting Kevin Owens at WrestleMania last year, that match was good too. I mean, it was good. I'm not saying that Seth Rollins don't put on bad matches, except for the dreaded Hell in a Cell from like 2 years ago. That I don't care what anybody says. That match with him and the Fiend is by far one of the worst matches that I have seen to date. And that's even putting Alexa Bliss and Eva Marie in the same category. That's ooh, mm, child, no. That's just a hell to the no for me. But yeah, Edge and Seth Rollins, that match was really good. Like Edge was really pulling out all the stops. He even used the Glam Slam, which is his wife's Beth Phoenix as finishing move. Like he was going in. Like he did the Prettier. He did like he was pulling out Christian's moves too. Like he had the Prettier. He had the execution. Like he was doing the most. And of course Seth with the Falcon's arrow, and it was a really good match, especially when he did the what was it, the swinging net breaker from off the top. I think it's from the second turnbuckle, the second rope. I was like, yo, this is really good. Like this match was good. I just wish that more matches was like that on the card. I just wish that we could have had that match a little bit sooner, but then I realized if we did, then the rest of the card would have been dead in the water. Then then the crowd would have had no real reason to stay after that. But yeah, Edge and Seth Rollins, I would say if you guys want to check out that match, check it out. It was good. Um, I have my usual feelings about these type of matches because I really don't like the camera angles on a lot of these matches because the camera angles are just so unnecessary. Like the constant keep switching up and stuff. I just find that to be so super annoying. So The WWE needs to cut that out. Like that's one of the things that I really don't like is them damn camera angles. Like, God, just freaking stop, man. Like, just stop. All right. So now we get to the WWE Championship with Goldberg and Bobby Lashley with MVP in his corner. Hmm. You know what? I hear a lot of people talk a lot of crap about Goldberg, right? And I used to be one of those people that was like a real Goldberg fan, like, but I gotta say, like, bro, this match should not have been like they could have given Bobby Lashley practically anybody but Goldberg. I don't know why they keep thinking that Goldberg can't go anymore. This guy's like in his 50s and still trying to hang with younger people. Like, you can't do it, man. Like, if you hadn't quit back when you were like, I feel like if Goldberg hadn't quit wrestling when he did the time that Brock Lesnar had quit, because they were both leaving WWE, and a lot of the fans were pissed off because they were losing like two of their major draws at the same freaking time, and nobody really wanted to give a shit about that final match that they had back then. Well, it wasn't a final match, but the final match for that time. I honestly, to goodness, feel that if Goldberg had stayed a little bit more, maybe he would have been able to perfect his craft. I would have loved to think that in my own perfect magical world and do better, because it just comes off as you you're doing too much, and it's time for you to realize that you're not as spectacular as you once were, or what period. I mean, I think a lot of people think that he was a fluke, and he all those 173 wins that he had was against people that weren't really of anything, because sometimes he's fought the same person twice or more than once, I should say. And it's I don't want to take away from that, because I was one of those people that was like, oh shoot, who the fuck is Goldberg? Like, and his theme was hard, and then you see this guy come out through the smoke and he's just breathing out the smoke through his nose, and he kicked and he punched and all that other shit, and he picked up a dude, jackhammer him, match done. Like, those things, I used to be like, oh snap, as a younger person, I'm like, oh wow. But now that I'm thinking back now and I'm hearing other people complain about the things, I'm like, okay, I can see where people will have an argument about Goldberg and this, that, and the third. Um, but then sometimes I can't really not support that, because then you have people like Brock Lesnar that comes back all the time. So I just can't. Sometimes I just can't really um hear one side without going after somebody else or talking about somebody else. But with that being said, this match shouldn't have happened. It was awful. Goldberg didn't really sell the injuries as much as he should have. Like, he didn't sell it. I didn't. I should have said that he shouldn't sell it as much as he should have. I would say that he didn't sell it properly. If Goldberg had probably sold like the knee injury a little bit better, like when MVP hit him with the cane, that should have been an instant like, like he got hit and screamed out and probably collapsed to the floor or something. Not like, oh, what the hell was that? And then all of a sudden you registered the pain. Like, that's you're not Terminator. So I don't even understand why he even, like, why. I think because people always keep telling him he no sells. So then he tried and it just didn't come off as genuine. So I think, in future reference, I think Goldberg should just not. If he made a special guest appearance, like if he was commentating on something, then I wouldn't mind that maybe. But, or if he was trying to coach somebody, and I would tell him, listen, try, whatever. I don't know. At this point, I just think it's about the dinero, the money, and not so much as you're doing things to try to help new stars come up or anything like that. I don't know Bill Goldberg. This could be just me talking out my butt, but I just don't know why this match happens. So I'm gonna give this match a 1 because honestly, you could tell that he was kind of tired right out the gate. I don't know if it's because of the nerves or whatever it was, but this match was not all that good to me. And honestly, I feel like if he can't pick up certain people, then don't try. Don't try. Just if you know that it's not, if you can't, you don't have the strength to pick up anybody like that anymore, then just don't, because it just makes you look bad. It makes the other person look bad, and we're not trying to like um make anyone get injured here, but we just got to keep in mind that these people have families, and being injured at this time during COVID, and also with all of these damn firings going on, no one can really afford to be out of work right now. At least that's in my opinion. I don't know how much these people make, but um, still, no one likes to lose their job, especially if it could have been prevented. All right, now the match of the night, the Universal Championship of John Cena versus the champion Roman Reigns. I don't even know why I just said Roman's name like that. Like it was like a game show. Like he's like, "Come on down, Roman Reigns." I don't know. That was weird. Anyway, so Roman and his god class self came outside to his theme. I'm still trying to get it. I'm still expecting the shield thing for some reason, but I know he's used this new theme for about maybe what 3 4 pay-per-views now, or 2 or 3, and I'm still like, oh, where's the shield thing? That I'm like, okay, he finally changed the damn music. But then I'm like, but you still got the shield attire somewhat on. So shouldn't you, like, I don't know. I feel like Roman needs to change his clothes. Okay, you don't got on a shirt no more, and you've been giving me a nice, lovely sight of looking at that upper body. That's great and everything, but my dude, why are you still wearing the shield pants though? Like that don't even make sense. You're wearing the shield pants for why? I don't get it. Like change up your flow. I mean, at least when he's wearing his regular clothes, he's wearing like something look like it looks kind of like sweatpants and sneakers. But why are you still wearing the the shield clothes? I don't get it. So anyway, John Cena, he tried. This was supposed to be John Cena's number 17. John Cena came out. It was kind of his thing was like a Super Mario thing, where they showed all of the titles that John won over the course of the time, which I thought was pretty awesome. That they were consistent in that. I thought that that was cool that they would do something like that. Um, and John's shirt even had like a little, I think like a little John Cena, kind of like him flying in the air, kind of like Mario. That was cool too. Um, John, it was funny watching John trying to run down the thing. I was like, damn, son, they really making John do all this work by running down the damn walkway. And I'm like, yo, I was just hoping he didn't bust his ass because, quite frankly, that shit looked too long to be like doing much of anything. So John came in, and then the tribal chief came out with his council, Paul Heyman, and of course in 4K, the augmented reality. I actually like this because it looked like Roman was going Super Saiyan. And I was like, I don't know if they did this one before, but I know that before they just had him with his head down. But I was like, why they made it look so dark? Like before, it looked like they was trying to make him look like he was made out of bronze or something. And then when they did it, and he just kind of, and then it looked like he was charging up. I was like, that's not bad. I actually like Roman's augmented reality. It was pretty cool. Um, so that's one point for me on that one. I think what else I liked. This match was actually good. I mean, aside from also when Roman always talking his trash during the match and stuff, but he whooped John Cena's ass though. John really let himself get beat up for this match. Every time that John made a comeback, Roman was right there to capitalize and make sure that, like, nah, son, this ain't it. Like you could literally hear him say, nah, fam, this ain't how this is gonna go down. You are gonna get that. You're not gonna get no pin on me. And Roman pretty much said that throughout the entire match, because all Roman does is like he pretty much talks shit throughout the entire match, and that's it. And then he'll beat up the person and whatever, and talk shit to the crowd. But I love all of that. But unfortunately, it didn't work out for John. So I shouldn't say unfortunately. I think I like it if John just capped off his career at tied with Ric Flair. And even then I had a problem with that, because I always felt that Ric Flair should just been on a high pedestal by himself, at capped off at 16. And if you were like 13 and 14 time champ, that's great, but let Ric Flair have his moment. The man has been was in part of wrestling for so long. Let him keep that. But John's tied with Ric Flair, and even I was kind of like, bro, like, really, son? Like, why? But it happens. I can't change that. So let him keep that. I think if John retires at 16, win 16 championships, that's great. Because not many people could say that they have as much or even come close to Ric Flair in championship wins. So I think in all retrospect, that's wonderful. But it just wasn't John's time. It wasn't really his time at all. The tribal chief caught him and still the retaining champ for SmackDown's Universal title. And as he was about to celebrate, who returns? Because people needed to have a bunch of returns this one night. And I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say all of my stuff, all of my junk, all of my trash talk once I finish with the SummerSlam results and review and all that. But who manages to return? Brock Lesnar returns with his little ponytail and a beard and a black wife beater, or excuse me, black tank top. Because you can't say what I just said, because that's inappropriate and probably could get me flagged. Comes back with a black tank top and some jeans and some boots. Brock came back, got in the ring. At this time, I think Cena had rolled away out the ring, because then I didn't see Cena no more. And it was just them two. And of course, Paul Heyman sold up and was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening, because he used to be the advocate for Brock Lesnar on Raw. But now SmackDown presents a problem. You have John Cena, who's now leaving to go off to do certain things. Not really retired yet, but probably working his way up to retirement. And you have Brock Lesnar, because you got to say his name like that, because it's Brock Lesnar, right? So Brock comes back. He smiles at Roman. Roman's like, nah, no. Roman doesn't look all that quite shaken, but Paul Heyman does. Because Paul Heyman is in a conundrum now. You was this man's advocate for the time that Brock came back, up until he left and dropped the title to Drew McIntyre last year. And Brock hadn't been seen in months on wrestling. Brock hadn't been seen in over a year, pretty much. I mean, through pictures and stuff, yeah, you've seen him, but he really wasn't on TV like that. Brock was seen last year WrestleMania, and that was it. You didn't see Brock Lesnar for the rest of the year up until at this moment, because people wanted to know, and that was at the height of the at the pandemic. So people wanted to know what was Brock Lesnar's status with the company. And I was like, well, I don't know because I'm not Brock Lesnar, so I can't answer that. But they kind of figured it might have been a money issue or something of the sort. So then Roman leaves the ring, and so does Paul Heyman. But what we didn't see was the poll after SummerSlam went off the air. Apparently, John Cena got his ass beat again, but this time by Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar picked him up, and I think he must have F5'd him a couple of times. Gave him the pizza toss, as I like to call it. So now poor John Cena just got bodied. Like I think he tried, and then he just got bodied again. I don't know why he signed up to get fucked up twice in one night by two different people, but I digress. Like honestly, I feel like this was a move to just show like maybe he got injured and now he's back out on injury again and whatever have you. So maybe he sustained some back injuries. I don't know, but that's pretty much how SummerSlam ended. Whew, that was a lot. Okay, and I'm parched, but I'm gonna wait because what I gotta do is tell you guys what I truly feel about the show. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. You guys know that I don't really watch Raw and SmackDown like that because, well, of reasons. Um, I personally feel that SummerSlam was trash. Out of all of those matches that I have mentioned, you only legit had two matches that was worth something. I should say not just two matches. You had three good matches out of the entire card, which meant that at least how many matches were there in total? Maybe what, seven or even eight. So that means at a ratio, less than half of your matches was good, and the other was just cannon fodder. Like you can't just tell me, okay, you put on Eva Marie and Alexa Bliss. Why? You could have very well had taken Big E and Corbin off the kickoff show. Don't have no more fucking kickoff shows. How about kickoff matches? How about that? I'm sorry to be cursing, but this company is so irritating to me as a fan of off and on for years with this company. The level of stupidness that this company does, it's just demented. Take Alexa Bliss off. Alexa Bliss and this girl could have been on a kickoff show because nobody cared. Because you know what I'm gonna tell you? I hate saying this because I'm supportive of women and rights and stuff like that. And I like the fact that there are women wrestlers out there and women wrestlers that are really good and, you know, who try to perfect their craft. I get it. But for Christ's sakes, enough with the foolishness. If you know Shorty can't wrestle, don't put her on TV. Make her a valet or something. Make her back. Hell, I don't know. When was the last time anybody seen Oh God, what was this guy's name? Uh, um, The one with the roses that he goes and he gives roses. Why can't she be his manager since Zelina Vega is no longer on um on Raw anyway? Why doesn't she become Eva Marie become his valet or something? You have Scarlett Bordeaux is was carrying Cross's valet and his girl in real life. Why they fit good together until they decided to separate them like the idiots that they are? Why can't you just keep what works? Why do you always have a thing to want to destroy? You have this notion of whatever works for the fans, you don't care, but you want to destroy it because the fans like it. And time and time again, this company has shown that they don't give a shit about the fans. They really don't. Because I don't understand for the life of me, how the hell did we become a universe? What happened to the term fans? Like, you made it seem like that's like a dirty word to say, fans. What the fuck is a universe? It's not, not everybody watches wrestling, so we can't be a universe. That's a larger entity in itself. That's stupid. I'm a wrestling fan. I'm not a universe. What the come on. Then you have situations like Big E. Big E's a Money in the Bank contender. Why the hell couldn't Big E go out there and try to cash in on Bobby Lashley or whatever, or even hint that he was gonna cash in on Roman? Like, things like that makes no sense to me. You have somebody that just won a briefcase last month for a chance for a title shot, but granted, it could be for any title. Why not have him fight at least Bobby Lashley? Because since Bobby Lashley beat up the other two members from New Day, why couldn't you have had him go back and fight him? Something. Like, this, it doesn't make any sense. Then you gonna get me all riled up over this Becky Lynch return. Now, granted, I was kind of cold on Becky Lynch before she went on maternity leave because, quite frankly, I kind of felt like her thing was lacking. Like, I don't know if it's because she was already going through the pregnancy motions or whatever it was, but I honestly felt that the man as a gimmick was starting to get kind of stale because she didn't really have much in the way of anything. She had Shayna Baszler, and then they didn't give Shayna the title at WrestleMania last year, which kind of killed any momentum that Shayna had at that point of being a badass. Because you needed somebody to fit in the spot that since Ronda wasn't there. And now since Ronda herself is pregnant, we can't have that match between Becky and Ronda because that's now delayed even further because of one pregnancy over another pregnancy. And even then, we're not even 100% sure if Ronda's even coming back. They paid these women money and these people want to see the two of them fight because, quite frankly, I swear to God, if they put Charlotte Flair in that shit one more time, I'm gonna scream. Because they really messed up that match when it could have just been Charlotte. It should have just been Becky and Ronda. But no, they had to be greedy and want to put the queen in there just for the shits and giggles. And what ended up happening? Becky ended up pinning Ronda. And to be honest, it didn't even look like Ronda's arms were completely down. But that's another case for another time. I digress. My problem with SummerSlam is they ruined Becky Lynch's return. If Becky Lynch had just came out and just fought Bianca Belair in maybe a 10 to 15 minute match, and maybe she probably would have won the belt off of her, or somebody else came in and interfered in a match. I rather prefer those situations than what happened. Because regardless of what you're going to say or not, and I know there's going to be people that disagree with me on this, Squash and Bianca didn't need to happen. That was bullshit. You advertised Sasha Banks to fight Bianca Belair and the return match for this title that they first fought at WrestleMania this year, back in April. Sasha took time off. Okay, fine. They had a contract signing and everything. Why the hell did it have to take the minute that Bianca stepped in that ring and said what Bianca stepped in that ring for them to now announce that it was no longer going to be Sasha Banks, but Carmella instead? Nobody wanted to see Carmella. No offense to Carmella, but nobody wanted to see her. That's not what they also paid money to see. If these people showed up, or these people were supposed to be there, and if there's a card change, you tell everybody. You don't wait till the last second to then tell the fans, oh, by the way, so-and-so not gonna make it because and don't even give a reason as to why Shorty ain't even there. You just say, oh well, fuck it, and then just go on about your business. Like, that was the most disrespectful thing that they could have done, in my opinion. The most disrespectful thing they could have done. That didn't serve the fans no purpose. It sure as hell didn't make them look like everything was planned accordingly. So you mean to tell me all of that build up, or so-called build up, for these two to fight again and the match don't happen? You just let it step aside so Becky Lynch just come in table scraps? And now you're talking about, oh, there's reports saying that they're going to make Becky Lynch a heel? I'm like, for what? Sis left a face, and now you coming back as a heel? And now that you on a SmackDown? What happened to Raw? Raw don't need other women on there? You got Charlotte on there. You got Asuka. I guess they must have felt that the deck was too stacked with those two, and then decided to put Becky on SmackDown because her husband is now there too, who's Seth Rollins. I'm like, y'all are killing me with this right now. Like, it doesn't make any sense. The level of stupidity that this company does. You disrespected Bianca. And I don't care what anybody says. Oh, but, Samantha, don't make it into a race issue. You know why I'm going to make it a race issue? Because shortly right after that, they had the audacity to bring out those two Olympic winners from wrestling. And they're both black out there. You just went and upright disrespected a woman of color, and then had the audacity to bring them two people out there, like to say that that's going to make up for the incident that just happened moments before. Are you dumb? WWE is a joke, and anytime I tell somebody that, they get mad, or I start saying things like they're racist. No, it's not racist because they've had black champions, and what do they mean? Black champions that they don't give a damn about. Look at Kofi Kingston. Kofi had won that championship, 2 years ago? He never got a return bout for that belt. He was WWE champion. Did you see him? What was it? Universal champion, I think it was. No, it was, I think it was Universal champion. Because he was on SmackDown at the time, I think. He beat Daniel Bryan clean. And here now we are. Kofi got bodied in like 7 seconds by Brock Lesnar for Brock Lesnar to get back that title. At any point that they ever said, oh, Kofi should get a return bout or Kofi should get back in the title contendership? Nah. What they settled on? Consolation prize, the tag team championships. F out of here. That company does way too much. You had the audacity to embarrass that black woman like that in front of all those damn people by squashing her like she never meant anything. You know why I'm mad? Because even if she wasn't black, the fact that you did that shows that you did not give not a goddamn about her title run in the first place. This woman, Bianca Belair, from what I've seen some of her stuff in NXT. Bianca's no joke. She's very athletic. She can move in the ring and she can wrestle. Y'all took her championship win that she won at WrestleMania just months before and shot all over it in that one instant. And they don't even understand and see why. She beat a former women's champion and and Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks had won that title from beating her own former friend Bayley, if you go by storyline purposes. She beat Bayley to get that title back from her because of the betrayal. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that Hell in a Cell that last year? And then Sasha went and she became heel again. My whole thing is she beat a former women's champion to get that belt. If I'm not mistaken, a 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion. She beat one of the top women in that division for that championship back in April. And here come a few months later, you guys go and you make her look like a goddamn fool in front of everybody by dropping her like that. I don't know if Bianca was all right with that, but I would have been very pissed. This chick, I just said, hold up. I know that I'm the new kid on the block here. I know that I'm like, what? Bianca's 32 years old? She looks good for her age. I thought she was like 20-something. Homegirl just became SmackDown Women's Champion on main roster. You got Homegirl losing to a woman who has not wrestled in over a year, who was out on maternity leave. Her only reason for being out was because she got knocked up and she couldn't compete anymore because they realized, oh shoot, I'm pregnant. I can't wrestle. She out of her own mouth said that, you know what, it would have made sense to give the belt to the Raw belt to Shayna because Shayna was the one that was dominating. That's why I wondered why that match was so lacking last year, because I was like, wait, why did match look so stale? Like she ain't moving right. She moved kind of like stiff, and the match didn't even last that long. I am pissed because the fact of the matter that you could do that to somebody really irks me. I don't care what we agree upon or whatever the hell situation it is that they all was working together. If Bianca Belair agreed to that, that was horrible. And you know what it translated into? We don't give a shit about our black wrestlers. You disrespected this woman to put over a woman that hadn't wrestled in over a year because she was out on maternity leave and she just gave birth in December. And hadn't wrestled beyond last year. Up in, what was it? When she gave the last Money in the Bank, when she gave the belt, she gifted it to Asuka. And look how well Asuka's run turned out. To be trash. Because they never had any real opponents for Asuka. Aside from Charlotte Flair. This company don't give a shit about their black wrestlers. They really don't. And I don't give a fuck what Vince or any rest of them think. Because if they manage to somehow listen to this podcast, which they probably won't, and I'm fine with that. They don't give a shit about their black wrestlers. They don't. Yeah, sure, you could say that freaking R-Truth is like a gabillion times 24/7 championship, but that championship is a fucking joke. That's like a watered down version of the hardcore title that nobody fucking asked for. Bring back the fucking hardcore championship. Or just don't bother. Don't put the same stipulations on a belt like that if it's not going to be the same. You might as well just give that up. Then you have situations like the whole Bray Wyatt thing. Why is Alexa Bliss still coming out as demented like a fake Harley Quinn for? He's not there, so shouldn't his magic or his ambiance or whatever it is get away from her? Shouldn't she revert back to who she was? Why are we still with the dark makeup and the skipping around and looking crazy and shit? He's gone. Her reaction is now as a product of what he did to her. If he's no longer there, then the entity should leave. The presence, the essence should leave, right? That doesn't make sense. Then you have Eva Marie. Oh my God. Child can't wrestle. Just stop. Then you had a situation with Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal. Nobody gave a shit. No one fucking cared. And it's sad to say that because I'm a big Drew McIntyre fan. I love me some Drew. But this wasn't it. This match was just pure trash. It did not need to be on the pay-per-view. I understand that a lot of these matches felt like filler, like how when you watch animes and you have the filler episodes that really don't amount to anything. It's just to kill time until the major story picks back up again. That's what a lot of these matches felt like. These matches, even the tag team championship matches for both Raw and SmackDown titles respectively, both felt like filler matches that you should just see on the shows themselves, not at a pay-per-view, because there's no oomph, there's no hoop spot to these matches. It's like, okay, yay, 619, okay, phenomenal forearm, all right, fine, yay, boo, all right, fine, great. We had one match that went on too damn short before it picked up and did anything. You have another match that honestly is tainted because of the fact that somebody decided that they wanted to drive intoxicated, and the company, rather than just realize, well, you know what, this is gonna mess up our storyline, but fuck it, we're not gonna give them the titles. Or better yet, have the fucking Usos go and get titles from different divisions. Isn't there an IC championship on SmackDown? Why not have Jay go and get one? Get a title shot for that. Don't they have the what you call it? The United States Championship is on Raw, so they can't fight that one. The IC Championship is on SmackDown. Why can't they fight there? Why one of them can't fight somebody for that? Like, they don't think. If you were gonna go and say, hey, you know what? Give one brother a title match for the IC Championship and he won. Okay, then give it to Jimmy. I mean, give it to Jay. Jimmy will have to work up to get one. How about that? Or hell, if y'all wanted to really felt stupid about it, y'all could have just created a new title or some crap. But then again, what happened to the wait, I was gonna say European title, but I think that's retired. Like, all of these things, they don't think, and they just do stupidness. Like, Jinder and Drew should not have been on the show, and it just felt like these were filler matches. Those 3 matches felt like filler matches, like warm-up matches. When I could look at the card and say the only match that I really was anticipating was the one that got the biggest screw over, which was the Bianca and Sasha match. Yes, I would want to watch Seth and Edge. And yes, I may want to watch Cena and Roman. I'm not a big John Cena fan. I'm okay with Roman, but the fact that he had to go to become a heel to get this level of notoriety, it's annoying to me. But it is what it is. What they're doing with him now is what they should have did with John Cena years ago. But I digress. Because John Cena turning heel now at this point in his career is just pointless. Because it's not going to do anything for anybody. Because it's like, you should have been like this when before you became part of Hollywood and following behind the footsteps of The Rock. I personally feel like this is a colossal waste of time. You had 3 good matches on the entire card. And one I didn't even get to see because I didn't even know that they had the match. I'd rather have Big E, even though I don't really care for Baron Corbin, I'd rather them have been on the main show because at least they could have put a hint, an idea that if Big E had gotten back his briefcase, there's a possibility that there might have been a cash-in. You could have seen him backstage in a segment that said, oh, well, somebody went and interviewed him and said, hey, Big E, are you thinking about cashing in your Money in the Bank? Or something like that. You could have put that lingering feeling, that sensation. Oh, shit, Big E might cash in the shit tonight. None of that. If it had been me, I'd have been established, like, let's sprinkle a little suspicion over the situation and been like, okay, there's that cloud, that looming cloud, that Big E might just cash it in tonight at SummerSlam. But what you're going to do, you're going to sit there and have the man linger with the damn briefcase for a whole amount of time like you did Otis and do nothing with it. Otis carried that briefcase for months and never once did anything with it. And then to the point where he got punked out of the damn thing by a stupid ass stipulation about a match of whoever wins could get to keep the briefcase. Huh? Didn't Otis just win the shit fair and square at a Money in the Bank ladder match? So why the fuck would he have to wrestle for something that he earned? That right there in itself just shows me the level of stupidity that company is on. Like, things like that don't make any sense. And then you had his former tag team partner turn on him, and they never did any follow-up on that. They had a backstage fight, and then the guy got drafted to Raw, and that was the last fucking time you seen him before he got released. Months later. Just, like, I don't understand. I didn't expect this review to go on as long as it did, but I really, you know, with everything going on in my personal life and you know, trying to get back into the flow of things, I'm kind of glad because I didn't realize how angry and annoyed that I was with this company up until watching this Bianca Belair fiasco. That took, like, granted, the other matches were great. Like the 3, like Edge and Seth Rollins was good, and Roman and Cena were good, and the Damian Priest and Sheamus match was good. But once that situation, oh yeah, and the triple threat was all right. It was, you know, it is what it is. But so that's 4. I'm sorry, it's kind of like 4, but to me, it's basically like 3. But once they did that with Bianca, I honestly just did not give a shit anymore. Like, I kind of was like, my mind was still thinking, wow, y'all really are just the worst. And it didn't help much that they brought those 2 damn Olympians right after that. They never got to speak, never got to hear them say anything. It was just they went in the ring, and then even in the camera cut away, and then we came back and there's a new match. I'm like, what in the actual fuck? Then they said, then one moment on the show, they had Damian Priest get interviewed by oh god, what the hell is this girl's name? Tiffany Haddish. And she completely obliterated the damn United States Championship championship name and called it the, what was it, US National Championship or some shit like that. And I'm sitting here like, seriously? You guys couldn't have gotten somebody else that worked inside WWE to cover that fucking thing? You got Tiffany Haddish, who probably don't know shit about wrestling, to come there and fuck up the name for the United States Championship for the guy who just won the title for his first time. Great job. Great job interviewing Tiffany. Great job. I don't understand. Didn't the shit tell you what the hell that he won the title for? I guess not. I'm still like I'm baffled. Like, why did it have to take that? Oh, and don't get me wrong. I know exactly why they brought back Becky Lynch and Brock Lesnar that night. Here's the thing that makes me laugh the most about this show. Just about 24 hours before that, AEW Rampage had debuted the one and only CM Punk. Punk had made his appearance on a wrestling show that was not produced by Fox. Okay. He made his first appearance on a wrestling show after 7 years away from the business. And say what you want about Punk. There's people that don't like him. People have all these things about, oh, Punk is in for himself and all this. I don't give a shit about whether or not people think that Punk is in for himself or anything of the sort. My thing is this. I had liked Punk when he was back in this land of should not be named, the land of E, which is eliminations, because they just eliminate whoever the hell they want. I was a big fan of his. I actually liked Punk. Because Punk is not going to sit there and bullshit you. He came out and he spoke about his personal, struggles and stuff for his health, and as far as he knew, when he left professional wrestling was 2005. He left Ring of Honor in that around that time, and then he went to this goddamn company, the E, and then all of a sudden shit got worse for him. Things were okay, but then things were whatever it was for him. I'm not saying that I know everything to know about what happened to him when he was there, but I can take a great guess as to what might have happened. I'm not here to sit there and promote CM Punk, but I like CM Punk. I think it's great that he decided to come back. I hope that he has a successful career moving forward. But I'm not stupid. I know why the fuck that Brock Lesnar was there that Saturday. Y'all needed somebody to combat what happened with AEW the night before. I'm not dumb. I don't even watch AEW like that. And I've never, as far as since I've started this podcast, I have not done an AEW review show yet. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to. It's just that I haven't had a chance to accumulate enough AEW for me to watch yet. Because one, I don't have cable television, and I kind of wish that I could just watch their shows. Oh wait, their shows on YouTube, I think. So technically, I don't have an excuse. But if you're going to sit there and you're going to promote, one company promotes a guy who hasn't wrestled in 7 years, you think I really give a shit about somebody who hasn't been gone, who's been gone for a year? I don't give a fuck about Becky Lynch or Brock Lesnar. I'm sorry, but I don't listen. It's great that she went and had her kid and everything, and she got married and all that hoopity hoopla and all that great shit. That's great. You're a mom. Congratulations. And even then, that sounds like I'm being patronizing. I'm not. I think that I guess being a parent is one of the greatest things in the world. I haven't experienced that yet, but I guess to a lot of people, it's a great experience to become a parent. So yes, I do wish a congratulations to her and her husband for their recent nuptials and the birth of their child. I'm not taking anything away from Becky. I understand that getting pregnant at that time was was something that she didn't foresee happening, and it did kind of like, you know, put a hiccup in her career. But the fact that she still chose to have the child and everything, and when some people might have not chose to, but that's a different story. I commend her for that. But I just didn't like the way how they did things. If they had just said, okay, you know what? I'm going to go and put Becky to come back on Raw or SmackDown or something like that. I would have been like, holy crap, she had a live audience and she's going to say what she's going to say. But they chose to go the cheap ass route and turn her a heel just because. Now you're going to put mad heat on her for what? The woman left, and the company's so inconsistent. If somebody gone away and was a face, why the fuck would you come back and bring them a heel like that? And you do it in the most disrespectful way. They didn't even have a match, really. It was a squash match, which basically said that she didn't really give a shit about Bianca Belair or anything that she might have accomplished in this time. They're like, oh yeah, she's a SmackDown Women's Champion. Yes, she's an SB winner alongside Sasha Banks, because they were the first two women of color to headline a pay-per-view and WrestleMania. And I commend them for that, because you know how hard it is to struggle out here and be a person of color, and you can't get a up because there's always some machine, political or whatever type of machine, to try to bring you down. That's great that they won their SP awards. I commend them for that. That the girls put on a really damn good match. They own night one of WrestleMania. I think it was night one, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was night one. They owned that. Some of the matches, other matches, couldn't even come close to the story, the thing of the heart and soul that them two women put into that. So I'm glad that they was able to win their SP awards. What I don't like, don't advertise Sasha if she's not going to be there. That was corny. Y'all did that crap, and then all of a sudden it became like, you know what? To hell with Bianca and Carmella. You threw away Carmella like she wasn't nothing. That she was trash. And she's a former SmackDown Women's Champion winner. What's next? You gonna bring Naomi over there too and then wash her up too? Because she's a former SmackDown Women's Champion. In fact, the person that I feel that was more deserving of being a multi-winner would be Naomi, because she's the most acrobatic and at least one of the few that can actually freaking wrestle. There's only barely a few that can wrestle. The rest of them can't wrestle for shit. When you can't put a person in a proper headlock and run the ropes with them, don't be in the ring. Just don't. Become a valet, do color commentary, do backstage reporting. I don't care. Just get out the fucking ring. That's like me at my age, at 30-something years old, saying I'm going to become a professional wrestler. And I can't even go and do a simple tie-up. I can't roll the person up in a small package, or I can't even sit there and say I could run across the ropes. I can't take bumps. I definitely know I can't take bumps because I have a bad back. My back is messed up. And I sure as hell ain't going to be getting concussed. So I already know professional wrestling isn't it for me. So that's it. They do these things where they treat people like trash, and then they still expect people to sit down and watch. And I don't understand what some of these fans, like, I don't get it. You see how they treat some of they wrestlers. Why are you still entertaining them? Why are we entertaining them? I'm pretty sure that there's other companies that don't even treat their staff the way that some of these wrestlers have been portrayed on TV. And then you hear some of the stories after they leave. It's just like people don't listen to them, their ideas, they're getting overlooked, they have complaints that are not even being heard. Like, what is the point in being there if you're not gonna go nowhere. And I've even said for years, the company got too many blasted people in there. They're not doing nothing with them. And I kept on saying they might as well fire them. And then here come now the mass firing started from last year, April, and it's still continuing to this day. Every few months or a couple of months, you hear somebody got fired. And then some people got fired a year to the day that people got fired last year, which I thought was real grease. That just goes to show that these people did not give a shit about them. They fired people the day of the first Black Friday or Black Wednesday. And I just sat there and I'm like, wow, y'all are real assholes. And then they fired more people in June. Some people that we didn't even see coming, like Braun Strowman. I'm like, he's not here nor there, but still, really? Overall, SummerSlam, nah, man. Like, I'm honestly like just fed up. Like, I'm fed up with WWE, and they need to do better. Cause you got other companies out there that don't even do half the shit that you guys do to your superstars. And I'm sure that there are people like, oh well, Samantha, they don't treat the superstars like trash like you said that they do. They may not, but if they come with something creative and is overlooked and is basically told that they don't have nothing for them, then me as a person, I should not be working for that company. If you can't acknowledge my greatness or my goodness, then I shouldn't be working for you. I think my talent should be best spent elsewhere, where I will be respected and admired and acknowledged for the good work that I do, as opposed to sitting there wasting 10 years of my fucking life that I will never get back. Some of these people are the same age as me. That I've quit watching wrestling. To be honest with you, I've quit watching wrestling around the time shortly after Eddie Guerrero had passed away. Somewhere between 05, 06, 07 in there. Somewhere in there, I stopped watching wrestling. Because even then, back then, it started to become too repetitive. The same people was always winning championships all the freaking time. The same boring ass things all the time with no change. And you know what helped change wrestling? When they started seeing people dying of either heart failure and all this other stuff, then they started doing the wellness policy. Then they started doing certain things like, oh, people can't take chair shots because of CTE, because of Chris Benoit, and other people suffering from similar fates of having severe brain damage, and then acting out and either committing murder or committing suicide. Oh, excuse me, harming themselves. I can't really say committing that because then I might get flagged. I'm sorry. People harming themselves. And then here I am, like, trying to watch this thing, and the product has gotten worse over time. You said you don't want no more chair shots, but then some of the shots that you guys do are just don't make any sense. Then you start developing crappy camera angles, matches that are stale, that people don't see people wrestle how many 5, 6, 7 times and weeks. Like, nobody wants to see that. Like, I get that there was a pandemic, but even before the pandemic ever became a thing, y'all wrestling was stale. Now that you got fans, now you want to bring back the same level of foolishness, the staleness? Do freaking better for people. You say you care about the fans and universe, and you got this whole social media thing for the WWE fans. Do freaking better for your fans. Don't sit here and do bullshit just because you think that, oh, this is what the people want. This is not what the freaking people want. I don't speak for everybody that attended that wrestling event on SummerSlam last Saturday, but I can tell you this. I know some of those people walked away disappointed. Some of them must have felt deep down in their hearts, damn, I really paid money for this. You know what I do? I stayed home and used Peacock. Because I'm not going to go and spend money going all the way traveling to Vegas to go and be disappointed. I could stay home and be disappointed for damn near free. Out of the entire card, y'all only have about maybe three matches or maybe 3.5 matches at best that was good. The rest of your card was throwaway and cannon fodder. Was just filler. It's like WWE might as well have filler episodes because nothing amount to nothing. You're not consistent on storylines. You're not consistent on matches. Things that you do make no sense. Stipulations that make no sense whatsoever. And then you hire people that don't know anything about wrestling, like that lady that you guys recently fired. She's into comedy. What the hell is she doing? Being there, saying she's following up on and doing writing for matches and stuff. I'm a creative writer. I not only years of experience as doing wrestling with my friends, and now we suffer from the ailments because of that, and watching wrestling with my father when I was younger. Those are the only things that I have in a wrestling background. I'm not a professional wrestler, not even an amateur wrestler. But I can tell you this. If somebody put me in a fucking headlock, I will know how to get out of it. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat anything for the E. This company is trash, and they need to do better. And you know what? That's it. Cause I'm done. I'm done talking about this company, and I don't even know if I'm gonna review the next pay-per-view that they have coming up. Cause I'm really disappointed. Like that Bianca Belair thing just took me out. That really, like, yeah, I still watched the rest of the pay-per-view, but it's just in the back of my mind, I kept on thinking, damn, and I kept on texting, I cannot believe that they did that to Bianca. Like that was the I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. And then you bring out these two Olympians that are supposed to do something. Like, yeah, we're pro for black people. But you just ruined somebody else's fucking championship title match, and she's black. You know what, guys? Rant over. I'm severely done. Like this episode has gone on a long time, and I wasn't supposed to come on here to be angry or anything like that, but they've really like irked me. They've irked me before, but that was just like that was wow. Like I can't even begin to describe the level of nonsense and the way how I feel about that. Bianca Belair is a talented woman, and I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna end the podcast on this note. A lot of these people, and also including Bianca, because I know I just mentioned her, are very talented, and I'm pretty sure that wherever they go, their talent will be appreciated elsewhere. Don't let 5 or 10 years or 15 years being in this company that don't see your value. I've seen people who, like I said, that are in my age range and maybe a slightly older, who've gotten no real love from this company from the time that they started to the point that when they got fired, they got released. Don't be like that. Get out of your contracts, because I don't care if it's a breach of contract or whatever. Y'all deserve way better than this. Because I've seen even there's one wrestler in there that I follow, and I'm not going to put his name out there, but I could tell you only one thing I can tell you, that he's blonde, and he's I think he's on SmackDown. But I'm gonna tell you this: he's as old as me, and a little bit older. From the time that I remember that he was part of this group, to when he got on his own and he won his first major championship, and a huge pop that he got when he cashed in his Money in the Bank. I know some of you already know who I might be talking about, but I'm not going to mention his name here. This dude, I follow him on Facebook, not Facebook, excuse me, on Twitter. For the longest time, I've always wondered why the hell was he never back in the title picture of the major title picture. I don't understand why, but he's been there for the longest. I don't understand why he hasn't. He's been a tag team champion. I'm not gonna say who his partner is because you guys gonna already know who I'm probably referring to. But he's been in a tag team division before, and he's been in singles competition, and he can wrestle. But I don't understand for the life of me at 40 years old, why would I stay at a company that don't deserve me or don't appreciate the shit that I do for them? Anytime that I'm available, I go on and I try to do the best that I can. What is given to me, either a garbage script or whatever have you. Or working with fellow wrestlers that you may not be 100% comfortable with or feel safe around or whatever have you. I don't understand why. And maybe I'm being too harsh, but if you want this company to so-called be still number one in sports wrestling entertainment, you got to do better. Push your new stars. Stop this BS about bringing in older superstars to try to bring in a draw, because you're hurting and you're crushing your young talent. You're not even giving them a chance to shine. Of course, no one's gonna know who some of these people are because you don't give them the shine that they need. Oh, this person needs a character development change. This person needs that. If they were fine before, nothing be fine then. Stop trying to fix things that are not broken just because you don't like it. That's why we have differences of opinion. Guys, I'm tired. I done worked myself up into a ramp. And honestly, I need a break. So I'm going to come back with another episode 19. And episode 19 is going to be featuring the Kissing Booth 3. And maybe a culmination of other things that I've been had the pleasure of um viewing while I had to take this time off to kind of sit down and reflect on passing of my grandfather. I hope I did him proud, minus the cursing, because I know I didn't really curse when he was around. Um, I hope I did him proud. Um, I know I didn't do my mother proud because if she had heard this episode, she'd have been like, "Why are you cursing so much?" But yeah, I just wanted to dedicate this to him and just just in general, anyone who's lost anyone out of like short notice and or who may have suffered an illness and unfortunately there wasn't anything that you could do for them but just to be their support while they were still here. I commend you guys for being there for your family in these tough times, um because I know it's not easy and I hope that things get better in time. But like I said, I'm out of here, guys, and this has been the Samantha K experience, and check you later. Peace.